Hello, is this Mr. Gambino here with a new stream? And in this stream I'm going to be going over the event week for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. I know this one's out late, but like I've been mentioning on my Reddit Online stream or whatever, I had a very suspicious follow on my Twitter, and then the same like person subscribed as well, surely. Because around the same time I got my 21st sub or whatever the fuck. And yeah, there's someone from like a couple years ago or some shit like that, bring up drama and shit from a couple years ago, or at least that's probably their intention. So yeah, I took measures and added stuff to a blocked words list, so there's now a blocked words list, unfortunately. However, none of it should really be that, like, none of it should be that invasive or anything. Like, it shouldn't prevent, like, very many normal comments anyways on the stream, so it's kind of just for me, and it shouldn't really impact anyone else. Of course, it has like obvious stuff like IP addresses and like home address stuff, and my blocked words list I have now. So obviously that kind of stuff can't be in the comments. But it's pretty much the most obvious things to put in there anyways, but still. If I get hate randomly or some shit on a lot of the comments and stuff, that's why, I suppose. If I get a lot of like hate comments on the live streams and stuff, that will be why. It's because someone from a couple years ago can't move on with life, and it's not that exact person, but it's one of her friends from what I know, but whatever. And yeah, Mess as Spectator and whatnot's very useful with this like layout and stuff, and I do like featuring people's comments as long as they're not like that kind of comment like I've mentioned, but still. I think I've made my case enough. I don't really give much of a shit to talk about it any longer. Yeah, it's kind of why I fought off on this week's event week streams, is because I've dealt with some issues and stuff. But yeah, going to the title, of course, they continued 2 times money in RP for the Superyacht life missions. And then there's also 3 times money RP on Trapdoor, which is an adversary mode for those who don't know. And also 2 times money RP transform races as well. So yeah, there is a triple money RP opportunity with the adversary mode, and then the missions and then the transform races are 2 times money RP. And then there's also 30% off yachts, which also includes the renovations, but I didn't have enough space on the Mess as Spectator, so do know it includes the renovations. And all boats are also 30% off, and then obviously there's more. However, since it doesn't fit in the comments, since it doesn't fit in the title Mess as Spectator, I'll be going over those individually. Also, yes, I made sure my microphone is on this time, because apparently last stream I forgot to make sure it was on within the first 7-8 minutes, because usually I remember. Alright, 20,000 chips. Definitely quite alright with me, even though I never really gamble in the game. Because I fucking want to gamble in real life already, because I'm 21, of course. But, of course I can't with the real world situation shit. But yeah. The podium vehicle for the week is the P-Fister 811. And the P-Fister 811 is actually a really damn good podium vehicle. I'll explain it, of course, right now. Could be one of the better podium vehicles that's ever, like, came out for the game, which is quite nice. Alright, I'm definitely, like, way below. Alright, here it is. The P-Fister 811 from the Finance and Bounty update, I believe it was. So when you get the podium vehicle, you will be saving $1,135,000. And that's assuming that there's no, like, liveries on it or whatever. And if there is a livery, you're probably only saving about, like, 20,000 if at most. And the good thing about the P-Fister 811 actually is it's #1 in the supercar class for top speed. And obviously, since the supercars are one of the fastest, like, classes in the game, that means it's a very great transportation option for getting to point A to point B. So that's kind of what top speed's all about. But yeah, as far as cornering and stuff like that, it's probably not that good for lap time, but just the fact it's #1 in its class for top speed makes it a very good podium vehicle to get, actually. If you do manage to get it, or you kind of get it through illegitimate means, or whatever. So yeah, very damn good podium vehicle this week. And as for the new Tigon, or Tigon, I believe it would be, I don't think that one's good for lap time or top speed from what I watched on Bruffy 1322. Similar to how the Grotti Fury of the previous update, even though it was pretty new, it wasn't really a good supercar. So I haven't got any new good supercars since the Diamond Casino and Resort DLC, for those who may wonder. But yeah, that one from way back then is #1 for top speed, which is very amazing. However, something about the 811 as well is not long ago, not long ago necessarily, it was already like a Twitch Prime or Prime Gaming as it calls it now. For Rockstar, they call it Prime Gaming now, though that might be the official name now. It was a Prime Gaming vehicle like a month ago or something like that, so if you are a part of the Prime Gaming thing, then yeah, it might not be worth it, but otherwise, obviously, you'll want that, because it's like the #1 in its class for top speed. Yeah, premium race for the week, at least for now, is Downtown Underground. I don't know if they do it where, yeah, I don't know if they do it anymore to where, like, they do multiple premium races in a single event week. But they used to, like, way long ago, at least do 3 premium races, like, per event week. But at least for right now, it's this for the super class. And something new that I'm actually going to be doing for these event week streams is I actually have like a list of like all the vehicles and their lap time and top speed on Bruffy.com or something. And yeah, credit goes to Bruffy1322. He has a bunch of really damn good resources on like the lap times and top speeds of different vehicles. So I have like a spreadsheet open or some shit like that. So I'll have to go to the super class, and thankfully enough, it keeps the exact spot as well, so I can just easily switch between lap time, top speed, and it'll keep my place on it too. So I'll go to the super class and see where those place. Alright, so for super class, if you're going for the top few options for lap time, there's the Progen Emirates for #1 for lap time. Second place for lap time is the Benefactor Krieger, and then third place for lap time would be the S80RR, which are all free supercars from the Diamond Casino and Resort DLC from like June 2019. In fact, July 2019, I think it was. And yeah, those are all probably in the 2 mil to high 2 mil range, or more like mid 2 mil range at the least, maybe. But yeah, mid to high 2 mil range, those probably all are. And yeah, that's the top 3 for lap time. Top 3 for top speed, of course. As I mentioned, you'll absolutely want to get the P-Fister 811 because it is #1 in top speed for the superclass. So if you do get it from the podium vehicle, of course, that's an absolutely amazing podium vehicle, having #1 top speed for the superclass. That's at least for raceable options. The Vigilante might beat it in the superclass, which I do actually have something to say about the Vigilante. Or whatever. Not because it's on discount, but I actually have one now, so that's pretty nice. And also number 2 for the super class for top speed is the Devastate 8, which I believe is actually on discount this week, so that could be a good one to get for this week if you want to do the premium race. And then apparently the Banshee 900R is actually third place for top speed. Not one I would have expected to be that high for top speed, but yeah, Banshee 900R is on there as well, which for how long you have to do like an upgrade price, and like the regular Banshee's not even that much actually. So it could be quite the affordable option. But yeah, those are all maybe in the $1 million range for those top 3 for top speed. But yeah, I'm assuming Downtown Underground will mainly have lap time concerned with it, so I'd like focus on the top 3 for lap time as I've mentioned. So yeah, that's the advice with the premium race. And then yeah, time trial for the week is Pillbox Hills for the regular time trial. I think this might be one of the like 10 new time trials from the Down Casino and Resort or Down Casino Heist DLC. So yeah, personally I've never done this time trial, so I wouldn't know much on it, but yeah, it's probably going to mainly concern lap time over top speed, as most games probably would, since you're usually going to have a lot of turns compared to like straight up highway. So yeah, as I mentioned, there's the top couple options for the super class for lap time and top speed. I already mentioned those. However, I might as well talk about motorcycles, because those are some of the better vehicles for sure to use for top speed. I mean, yeah, motorcycles are some of the better like vehicles to use for time trials. So yeah, top couple options for lap time for the motorcycle class is the Shotaro, Nagasaki Shotaro, basically the Tron bike in the game. It's an absolute beast for sure when it comes to cornering, which is quite awesome. And that one you can lean forward or backwards with the stick for the best possible speed for Shotaro. Right under that is the Hakuchou Drag, the Shih Tzu Hakuchou Drag. And with the Shotaro, I believe you have to play a match at deadline, by the way, in order to unlock it as an option on, like, Legendary Motorsports, so do keep that in mind for Shotaro, but it is absolutely worth doing. But if you don't want to do that for any reason, I believe it's only like a 10th of a second behind the Shotaro is the Hakuchou Drag for lap time. That one's more into like $1 million or even like in the $900,000 range, more so than like the early to mid 2 mil range, including customizations, I would say for that. But yeah, including customizations for Hakuchou Drag, that would definitely be in the $1 million. But yeah, Hakuchou Drag, you have to lean forward with the stick, which is one of 2 motorcycles in the game where you have to lean forward with the stick, I think. So yeah, because it's a drag motorcycle, obviously you can't really wheelie with it, so I would assume that's why. Other one, for those who are curious, is the Nightblade or something like that, I believe. That also leans forward with the stick for the best possible speed, as its only option. Whereas the Shotaro can do forward or backwards with the stick for the best possible speed. And most other motorcycles, besides for those 3, basically, you have to lean backwards with the stick as if you're doing like a wheelie. Which, speaking of that, third place for motorcycles for lap time is the Body 801, which is only like $10,000 for the base motorcycle and any customizations, so probably halfway towards $1 million or like 500,000 around there, including modifications. But on to top speed. Top speed for the motorcycles class, actually. First place would go to the BF400 for top speed. BF400 is an absolutely good motorcycle to have, by the way, because you can actually use BF400 in off-road races. And it's absolutely broken in off-road class for the BF400 because it absolutely smokes everything else. Even if you like fall off, I believe, from what I heard from Ruffy1322. It actually is very good to have a BF400. like even outside of time trials for that rely on top speed. And underneath that for top speed, for the motorcycle classes, again, the Body 801 is actually second place for top speed. And Hakuchou, the regular Hakuchou, not the Hakuchou drag as mentioned earlier, that's apparently third place for top speed. And I'm sure that one's a pretty affordable one as well, like under 100,000. Nothing like 10,000 or whatever, maybe, but still. So yeah, those are the top couple options for top speed for the motorcycle class. And yeah, with all three of those, you surely have to lean backward with the stick as if you're doing a wheelie for the best possible speed for the top speed side of things. And where's that RC Bandito time trial? But yeah, as for the RC Bandito time trial, it's with Fuente Blanca. And as for La Fuente Blanca, I do have a RC Bandito time trial guide. So for those who want a guide on RC Bandito time trial, I do have one, but if you want one from a more popular, reliable YouTuber, whatever, there's GTA Man, I believe. He does time trial guides, I believe. And aside from that, I can't really think of any other big examples of a time trial guide for this. So now I think it's time to discuss the money opportunities. All of the money opportunities for this week will be found in the pause menu. One depends on if you've done them though. Like for me, if you look at me, I haven't done the Superyacht Life mission, so it won't be in the pause menu. But because if you have beat the Superyacht Life missions, it will show up in the pause menu. I might as well talk about it on the screen right now. But yeah, even though I haven't done the Superyacht Life missions personally, I've heard really bad about the payouts, even on 2 times money. But yeah, for those who don't know, the Superyacht Life missions are similar to the other story, contact missions in the games, like the casino story missions. I would say they're most similar to the casino story missions because it requires a property of some kind in order to even be able to host the missions, of course. Other examples which actually aren't titled specifically would be the Lamar missions, for example. So Superyacht Life missions probably pay out very similarly to Lamar missions and then the casino story missions. So yeah, that's probably how they're going to pay out, is similar to those. And on double money, I believe they pay 20, 30k if you're lucky even. So yeah, obviously for regular money, that's really bad. Not to mention the story, mission kind of missions in the game. Those are some of the harder, if not the hardest missions in the game, and have more restrictions typically than regular contact missions. So really, they're fun to do one time around, so honestly, I kind of would not recommend that for double money RP. Since the payouts right now are even so trash, I can only imagine how bad they're going to be when there's no more double money RP for at least a single week. Since of course eventually it's going to go away. So hopefully that explains enough on the money opportunity there. Personally, you honestly might be better off on a transform race if you win. Or you can even do transform races solo for 10 minutes for the max payout, or if it's 15 minutes like a contact mission. That would be even more worth it, I feel, than doing those missions. If you're going with any of the money opportunities. I guess I'll talk about this next as well, races. Not races, but stunt races. But yeah, obviously there's multiple transform races in the game. And honestly, for those who might not know for any reason, who might have not been around at the time, transform races, of course, it's kind of like a triathlon kind of thing, where basically after a certain point or whatever on a race, the vehicle will change to a different vehicle. So yeah, the vehicles you want to have a custom version of for each transform race will obviously like vary depending on the transform race you do. So yeah, transform races highly depends on the transform race if you want to do good and if you have those custom variants. Obviously there's some vehicles like the Marquis, I believe, which is a boat that's in one of the transform races. Some you cannot get custom versions for. So if you don't have a lot of custom versions, you might want to look out for like a transform race that has like little to no custom vehicles. Or obviously if someone has custom vehicles off, that would be the best case scenario, maybe. But clearly it will especially benefit, like, depending on the vehicles used and stuff like that on the transform races. But still, definitely surely better off than the Superyacht life missions for double money RP. And then there's Trapdoor 1 through 7 and Roman numerals, of course. And yeah, that's triple money RP, so surely that's definitely going to be the best money opportunity for the week. And it's not even a very good money opportunity, but yeah, it's probably still the best one for the week. But yeah, I believe Trapdoor is basically like every time you die or something like that, you get sent into like a death area or something like that, and your goal is when you respawn, I believe, is to not like fall underneath into the ocean or something like that. So yeah, basically every time you die, you get put into an area where like the floor will go away eventually. And I think if you fall into the ocean, obviously you have to spectate for the rest of the match. So it's obviously just like a variation of like team deathmatch, pretty much. But yeah, it's definitely probably the best money opportunity for this whole entire event week. Because yeah, none of them are really that good, honestly. I'm actually going to show off the login reward right now, because I did actually go on the like game, of course, like before I did this event week stream, like a couple days ago or something like that. And it will let me show off my new Vigilante that I've bought a couple weeks ago or something like that. But yeah, for those who don't know, I did buy a Vigilante pretty recently within the last couple weeks. And the reason I did that, of course, is for when I want to do Pacific Standard, because, yeah, randoms suck ass, and that's the way I kind of go around, like, heists. Because I don't play with a lot of friends, nor do I care to really have a lot of friends in the game and stuff. I kind of have to rely on randoms and stuff, so yeah. So hopefully it's pretty foolproof compared to everything else. It's like the one heist vehicle that can be used in heists that actually has like missiles. I think the weaponized Tampa might be usable in heists as well and does have missiles, but they're not lock-on and they're not very like good homing missiles like the Vigilantes are, for example. That's why I did get the Vigilante. It was pretty expensive, but it's totally worth the price since it is actually able to be used in heists, believe it or not.
I can tell you have good taste.
So I kind of bought it for that reason, for if I decide to do the Pacific Standard heist anytime soon, or even any time in the future. Alright, so special tops. I think it's just an unlocks, I think. And yeah, the login reward for the week is actually a pretty interesting one, actually, being a TWA, or twat, for those who want to, like, read between the lines, logo T. Now, what's very interesting about this one is it's like a internet cafe or whatever the fuck from, like, Grand Theft Auto 4 and its episodes from Liberty City. In fact, I think even Grand Theft Auto 3 has a TWA internet cafe as well. Liberty City Stories, I would imagine, would have it too, because I think it's pretty much the same map as GTA 3. But yeah, it's the internet cafe from, like, the GTA 4 era of Grand Theft Auto, of course. That's pretty damn cool. So yeah, that's a brand new login reward, so definitely might be one-to-ones more worth going on for, because they do tend to repeat login rewards from before. For those who don't know, that is a pretty much brand new login reward. And who knows, that could hint at the December heist DLC if for some reason it takes place at Liberty City for the new location, but yeah, I'm not really big on speculating. I don't really expect that personally, but that would be so damn cool. And I'm so glad I got the Vigilante. Like, actually, it's pretty much the best heist vehicle in the game. Armored Criminal is really good as well, obviously, but it doesn't have all the, like, offensive capabilities that the Vigilante does. It only pretty much has purely defensive shit. So now to make sure I've covered everything aside for the discounts. I think the only thing I shouldn't have covered at this point is pretty much the discounts. Yes, nothing but discounts left to cover. Alright, so there's pretty much one property discount for this week. And that's on Doc Tees, of course, if you read them as a spectator. If you're watching it at this point. But yeah, every single yacht is 30% off. And that's whether you have that's whether you already have a yacht and you want to trade it for a downgrade or an upgrade or something like that. Or if you're getting your first yacht, then obviously it'll be a lot more expensive than what's shown. And also renovations are included as well for the 30% off, as I mentioned earlier. I just could not fit him as a spectator because there wasn't any room for him as a spectator and it deserved more important stuff. But yeah, for those who may not know, what's the reason exactly for getting a yacht? Quite honestly, there's not much of a reason to get a yacht, to be honest. Like, yeah, the vehicles are really cool. Having twin helipads, having one for the actual vehicle, at least for the Aquarius that comes with it, or a helicopter, and you can put another helicopter on there as well, if you want to fly over to your yacht. Like, obviously there's a lot of really cool cosmetic stuff and a lot of really cool, like, vehicles you can get without having to, like, purchase them on Pegasus, which is quite nice. Which obviously it depends on the yacht model for which ones you get. But yeah, aside for that, you're really going to want to buy it for piracy prevention and new Superyacht life missions, obviously. Like, you might want to complete the Superyacht life missions at least once for the captain outfit, and I believe you also get a discount on, like, moving your yacht as well. Like, I believe the yacht, like, moving it costs like 25,000 normally, but it costs more like 10,000-ish, something like that, like, when you do all the Superyacht life missions, and you get a cool captain outfit, as I mentioned as well. So yeah, they may be fun to do the Superyacht life missions at least once. So that could be a reason to get the yacht. But also, if you want to spend if you have a lot of patience and you want to purely make your yacht's money back just with piracy prevention, that one's like a 10-minute like VIP work or whatever, and it gives you $30,000. Probably one of the lesser like VIP works in the game, but still. Even still, I would say piracy prevention is still the #1 way of, like, #1 reason for buying a yacht, even is because of piracy prevention. Besides for piracy prevention, honestly, there's not much of a reason for getting a yacht for making money. It's pretty much purely cosmetic stuff. I'll talk about the boats later, by the way, because I do want to go in website order. Now, the strange thing with the discounts this week is there's actually a lot more discounts on, like, the actual game than there is on the newswire. Like, as you saw when I went on Legendary Motorsports, there's, like, a lot of, like, land vehicles that were, like, Sport Classic vehicles, I believe, that were on discount when I was scrolling to the P-Vista 811. However, the newswire has, like, no mention of a lot of those, like, Sport Classic vehicles on, like, Legendary Motorsports. In fact, only, like, 3 land vehicles are being mentioned on the newswire. So that makes it really tricky. For whatever weird reason, they didn't list all the discounts for vehicles like they usually do on the newswire. So yeah, we'll have to actually kind of scroll through every vehicle and make sure that I don't miss a discount or anything. Because for some weird reason, they didn't mention all the discounts on the newswire. But yeah, at least for regular Benny's vehicles, there's no like discounts there, and same with the arena vehicles for the ones that aren't arena ready, but I'm not sure about the upgrade prices. I don't think there's any discounts for these two sites. So yeah, I should be completely fine there. There should be some stuff on Elitist though, I think. But yeah, there's quite the helicopters on discount for the week. So yeah, I'll go back on the spreadsheet and that Breppy 1322 was created or whatever, like all the vehicles and their lap time and top speed, so I can give a lap time top speed for these. So yeah, I'll scroll to helicopters. But yeah, first discount for the event week is the Velatus. So Velatus is normally about $2.3 million. And as you see here, it says passive mode is disabled in this type of vehicle. I believe the reason passive mode is disabled on this vehicle, by the way, is because of the drinks or whatever in the back of it. So yeah, there's like drinks and maybe the ability to like browse the internet on the back of the Velatus, which are some pretty useless things for sure. So yeah, I do know if you get this vehicle, one of the big cons about it is no passive mode. But still, that's not really that big of a deal. It's very easy not to go in passive mode. But yeah, for performance of the vehicle, it's 5th place in lap time for the helicopters class. And it's also #1 in top speed actually for the helicopters class as well. So this will be an absolutely amazing transport option for going from point A to point B, if you do indeed decide to get the Velatus. And honestly, I could kind of recommend getting the Velatus, to be honest, because it is a vehicle you can actually spawn through the like CEO menu actually as well. So you can easily spawn this vehicle through the CEO menu, and the fact that it's the #1 top speed for the helicopter class, you can definitely get point A to point B very damn quickly with this if you don't care to have a weaponized option for that. If you just want a really good stock like helicopter without weapons on it, very good top speed #1 in its class, similar to the P-Vista 811 as a podium vehicle. Also with the Super Volito, do keep in mind passive mode is also going to be disabled on this. This also applies to the Super Volito Carbon. But yeah, biggest reason to get this vehicle is kind of the same thing with the Velatus. But yeah, the Super Volito, same reason applies with that. Reason you can't go in passive mode is because of like the drinks and like being able to browse the internet in the back of the helicopter. So yeah, that's the biggest con with that is you cannot go in passive mode, but even then, like I mentioned, not a big deal. In terms of lap time, the regular Volito is 6th place in terms of lap time. I don't see Super Volito Carbon listed, so I'm assuming Super Volito Carbon is also 6th place in terms of lap time. It seems they would probably have the same lap time. Because yeah, I don't see Carbon listed whatsoever, so it's probably the same, like, stat-wise. And then for top speed, Super Volito and Super Volito Carbon surely as well is 7th place for top speed. So I believe that was 6th place and 7th place for lap time and top speed for both regular and Carbon Super Volitos. So basically they're less useful versions of the Volitus. Volitus is actually the most useful of them both, I would say. And yeah, I wouldn't doubt that one of the regular, like, Super Volitos. I wouldn't doubt that both Super Volitos can be obtained on, like, the yacht models as well. As you saw with my yacht, which is the Aquarius, the most expensive yacht. The most expensive yacht comes with a Super Volito Carbon, so it's kind of a waste of money to get it as a Pegasus vehicle. Only benefit of getting it as a Pegasus vehicle is being able to store it in your hangar, basically, and be able to spawn it through the personal aircraft menu. But really, there's no reason to do that, honestly. It's not even that useful, as I've mentioned. So I kind of talked about both of these. It's basically a more expensive version of the regular one, which is like Carbon. But yeah, they're nice, and you might as well just get them on a yacht, personally, over buying it as a Pegasus vehicle. As for the Volitus, since it came out like the DLC, like right after or whatever, the Volitus cannot be on any of the yachts as like a vehicle, because I believe it had to be from Executive for Criminals or before that to be with the yacht. So Volitus is absolutely worth getting. Let me go on the CO menu really quickly as well. Because I think at least one of those Super Volitos are also on the like vehicle list too. Yeah, as I mentioned, Volitus can actually be spawned through the CO menu, which makes it very amazing for getting from point A to point B. The fact it can be spawned on a menu, like, right next to you is absolutely great for point A to point B. The fact it could be even more impressive than, like, the Oppressor and Oppressor Mark II in some cases and stuff like that as well. At least if you're a CO, that is. But a regular Super Volito actually is also a CO vehicle, so if you want a regular Super Volito, that's another like CO like option you have for free instead of for $10,000. That's another reason you get the regular Super Volito. The Carbon does not seem to be in here. So yeah, if you want the Carbon so badly, you might as well get the Aquarius yacht for 10 million, I think it is normally, or 7 million for the event week. So yeah, it's kind of the advice for all those free helicopters. I think it's pretty good advice for all of them for sure. I'll stay CO just in case. And then onto the Swift Deluxe. Swift Deluxe again is very obviously not a very good vehicle. But yeah, Swift Deluxe is basically all those other helicopters I mentioned earlier, with drinks in the back and the ability to browse the internet. Except it's probably the most expensive of the bunch, obviously, being like the pure intention of showing off your wealth or whatever. But yeah, pretty much the only reason you get this vehicle is to show off your wealth. Not really much of any good reason to actually get the vehicle. Swift Deluxe, though, for lap time is actually second place. However, lap time for helicopters I don't feel would really matter that much. Especially when you're not really going to be racing in helicopters anyways. Who really does helicopter races? So yeah, it is second place in lap time for those who are curious. And then top speed is also second place for the Swift Deluxe as well. So you're getting a very damn good top speed option as well. Only difference is you're not actually going to be able to even like utilize its top speed much like at all. Since yeah, you cannot spawn it with the CO menu, so plus the Volatus is number 1 in helicopters for top speed, so you might as well just go with the Volatus. And that can also be spawned in the CO menu unlike the Deluxe lift. And yeah, the regular Swift is on discount as well, having the option of the Classic or Flying Bravo variants. And unlike the Super Volito and Super Volito Carbon, which have the same lap time and top speed according to the looks of it on the like spreadsheet, Swift Deluxe and Swift have different handling or whatever, so you do handle a little bit different. So for lap time, the regular Swift is only a single place below, being third place instead of second. And then it goes to fourth place for top speed instead of second with the Deluxe. So you are getting a little tiny bit less performance with this one. However, it's cheaper. But I don't know if it has drinks in the back of it and stuff like that, unlike the Deluxe one. I don't think so. I think this one does not have the drinks and the internet in the back. And then it does not seem that Dodo is on discount, it seems glitched up at the moment. And that seems to be it for the Elitist website, actually. Alright, Legendary Motorsport. Alright. So one of the couple discounts that are actually on the newswire for land vehicles is the Principe FC8, which is 30% off. By the way, I don't think I mentioned, but all vehicles seem to be 30% off for the event week, unless it's Prime Gaming, of course, and it's going to be much larger of a discount. But any regular discounts appear to be 30% off for the week. So yeah, kind of already talked a little bit about the Devastate 8. It's actually like second place in top speed or something like that for the super class. Let me actually get over to that place really quick. But yeah, best thing about the Principe Devastate 8 is it's actually second place in top speed for the superclass. And then for lap time, Devastate 8 is 10th place in lap time as well. So for lap time, you'll still be in the top 10 with the Devastate 8. So can be worth getting the Devastate 8 for sure. Like, yeah. It's second place in top speed, like I mentioned though, to be fair, but yeah. If you don't get the podium vehicle, Devastate 8 could be a good fallback option if you want a good supercar for top speed. But obviously with this week, with the P-Fister 811 being the podium vehicle, you might as well go for the P-Fister 811 if you do get it as a podium vehicle. But if you don't want the 811 or whatever, which is even a little bit cheaper even with this being on discount, then yeah, I'd have to say it's second best for top speed for its class. And that's not including unraceable options like the Vigilante, for example. And then Ocelot Swinger. That's a sports classic for sure. Alright, so the Ocelot Swinger is apparently 8th place in terms of lap time. And this is pretty affordable as well, especially right now. Alright, it does actually seem there is more than 30% off for discounts, but like I mentioned, for whatever weird reason, Rockstar did not, like, have every single discount on the newswire like they usually do, which is very weird. I don't understand why. But yeah, so literally 8th place for lap time for the Sports Classic class. And then it's also 11th place for top speed. So it's pretty, it can still be alright for being competitive for a Sports Classic class. It can still definitely be competitive, especially for lap time over top speed. But yeah, that's basically what you need to worry about when it comes to like performance. And then, yeah, this does have liveries as well. Don't know about Devastate 8. And it even has like at least a single exclusive livery from like the guest list or whatever back from After Hours. That's kind of a little interesting. Something about the Swinger too. Karen 190Z. This vehicle is such a Karen though. Yeah, this vehicle is actually such a Karen though, I swear. I'm kidding. But yeah, Karen 190Z is not actually one of the vehicles with like the machine guns on it. For those who don't know, in the Doomsday Heist there was like vehicles in the Sports Classic classes and stuff like that with machine guns on it, or there still is, I mean. Yeah, I think this might be a Sports Classic class as well. Yes, it is in the Sports Classic class. But yeah, for top speed, let me actually start with lap time. I'll switch over to it. The 190Z is 16th place in lap time, and then for top speed, it is 23rd place for top speed. So yeah, you're not going to be winning races at all in this thing, so you're really just going to want it for customizations, and even then, I don't know if the customizations are really that good on it. And it's not one of the, like, Sport Classic vehicles and stuff like that from the Doomsday Heist that have machine guns on it. It's not worth getting for that reason. These two, however, do have machine guns up as an option, so you can weaponize them, and they can be slightly useful. However, you do need a vehicle workshop, an Avenger or Mobile Operations Center. However, you can also get an arena workshop as well and get the weaponized mechanic, I believe, as another way of getting machine guns on the vehicle. So yeah, if you do have those couple things, you can put machine guns on it, so do keep that in mind for Viserys. And Viserys is actually a pretty damn good vehicle, actually. I believe you can race with it as well, actually. It's one of the vehicles with machine guns on it you can race with. Because there are certain vehicles with machine guns, more so older vehicles, that are civilian with machine guns on it that cannot be used in races, like the Ardent, I believe, is one, for example. But yeah, Viserys is second. Actually, let me start with lap time. The Viserys is 9th place for lap time in the Sports Classic class, so it can still be alright when it comes to competitivity for the Sports Classic class. And top speed, it's literally the number 2 option right behind the Z-Type, which is the number 1 option for those who are curious. So it's especially going to be pretty competitive in the top speed section of the Sports Classic class. And lap time, it's pretty alright in as well. And the fact you can weaponize it with machine guns and it's still raceable even. Very good vehicle to get for the Viserys. especially for those who like to collect all the weaponized vehicles in the game like I do. Sylvester, I believe, is also a sports classic. Alright, yes. Sylvester is also in the sports classic class, and for lap time, that's 10th place for lap time. And then it's 14th place for top speed as well. So for top speed, you're really not going to probably do that good for top speed, and even lap time, it's literally at the way bottom of the top 10 for lap time. But can still be okay and competitive, at least for lap time, I would imagine. And yeah, same thing with Wizards, you can actually weaponize it, and it's still raceable even if you put the machine guns on it. So yeah, if you like collecting weaponized vehicles like me, those are a couple very good suggestions for discounts, and they're not even that expensive for the vehicles without the machine guns. Even then, it's only an extra like 100, 200,000 probably for machine guns. These next two are surely sports classic as well. But yeah, the Rapid GT Classic. The Rapid GT Classic is actually third place in lap time. And then for top speed, it's 9th place. So it's in the top 3 for lap time, which is very good. So pretty damn competitive for the sports classic time. For the sports classic class in lap time, it's pretty damn competitive. And it can be alright for top speed still in the sports classic class, and still compete, I would imagine. And then for customizations, it might actually have some pretty damn good customizations for a sports classic vehicle, at least. And then Pegasi Torero, that's surely also sports classic. But yeah, the Torero is 7th place for lap time. And for top speed, the Torero. Okay. And then for top speed, Torero was 16th place. So for top speed, Torero is not going to really compete, sadly. However, for lap time, however, for lap time, Torero is 7th place for lap time. So it can be okay for sure for, like, lap time. Like, yeah, it's not top 3 or even top 5, but it can still do alright, I would assume, at least if it's in the top 10. And then as for customizations probably aren't going to be very good on this, because obviously it's like a 80s style supercar, kind of. So yeah. In fact, I think it's based off of the Grand Theft Auto 3 Infernus or something like that. So yeah, I think it's based off of one of the Grand Theft Auto 3 vehicles, whatever that one's based off. But yeah. This one especially gives a vibe of one of the older GTAs that would being called the Infernus Classic, which I think is the Vice City Infernus, for those who don't know. But yeah, Infernus Classic surely also in the Sports Classic class. So yeah, Infernus Class is actually in the top 5 for lap time, so can be decently competitive for lap time. And for top speed, Infernus Classic is also 12th for top speed. So yeah, top speed, it's not really going to compete, but lap time, it's literally like at the bottom of the top 5. So it can still be pretty damn decent for sport classic races, at least for lap time. Which will obviously be a lot of times, unless it's on like a highway or something like that. Yeah, there's a lot of like sport classic discounts on that are not mentioned on the newswire, which is very weird. I don't understand why these aren't listed on the newswire. And then since I'm going in like huge details of lap time and top speed for vehicles, I might as well talk again about the Twitch Prime stuff, or Prime Gaming as it is now. Yeah, Prime Gaming is the same as it's been for the last couple weeks, I think, where it's the X80 Proto, Gauntlet Hellfire, being like 70 and 80% off respectively, and then also one of the nightclubs, but nothing really new to talk about with that one. But yeah, this is truly a supercar for the X80 Proto. And it's also one of the more expensive vehicles on this whole entire website as well. So definitely if you have Prime Gaming like I do, of course, might as well take advantage of this discount for sure. X80 Proto for lap time is apparently 16th place. And top speed for the X80 Proto. X80 Proto for top speed is actually 5th place. So you're getting a damn decent option for top speed actually. Like, yeah, at the cost normally of $2.7 million, or for Prime Gaming right now, $810,000. And also, with it being an electric car, its acceleration is probably very good, so it probably gets to its top speed pretty fast, so it could have its certain advantages over other good top speed options in the superclass. But like I mentioned, with the 811 being a podium vehicle right now, you can easily skip out on it for this week for those on Prime Gaming like myself. But this will probably be the cheapest ever get, so obviously you might as well get it. This seems to be another random Sport Classic vehicle that they put on discount that they did not list on the newswire here. And that is the Class A Mamba. So I just gotta get back to Sports Classics on the spreadsheet. Which again, credit goes to roughly 152 for these numbers and the spreadsheet and stuff like that. But yeah, Mamba for lap time is 22nd place. And top speed of the Mamba is actually 15th place. So really, you're mainly going to get the Mamba for customizations. You're not really going to be winning much of any race in this vehicle. And for those who don't know, it's actually a retro vehicle from the very first Grand Theft Auto game. So it's a very retro vehicle in the GTA series. That's something to say about it. And also, it did get added livery support in the After Hours DLC, so even though it didn't initially have liveries, it has had liveries for the past couple years now, which is kind of exciting. And then there's the Sterling GT. First, I'll look for a lap time. Sterling GT for a lap time is actually still in 4th place. But yeah, it's 4th place in terms of lap time, but you might as well go for one of the other options, because pretty much all of these aren't that expensive, obviously. So yeah, 4th place in lap time. And then it's also 19th place for top speed. So you're getting a damn decent option for lap time with the Sterling GT. And then top speed, you're not really going to get much of anything out of it. And then this thing does have pretty decent customizations, I think, if I recall. So customizations are pretty alright too. And then even the Z-types on discount as well, actually, for one of the bunch of random Sport Classic discounts that they didn't even cover on their newswire. But yeah, the Z-type for a lap time isn't very impressive, being 13th place for a lap time. So you won't want it for a lap time. It keep most races for Sport Classic vehicles. However, if you're racing on a highway or something like that, you should absolutely get the Z-type if you do a lot of Sport Classic races. Because, like I mentioned, it was the #1 option, and still is the #1 option for the Sports Classic class, and it's a vehicle from day one of the game. So it's clearly been a very good investment for like 7 years now, so I don't really see that changing personally. But who knows, it could change with any DLC. It's just shocking, it's still #1 vehicle for day one for top speed in the Sports Classic class. That seems it's finally it. Yep, good. That was it of the bunch of random discounts they didn't cover on their newswire. Which is pretty much all Sports Classic cars, actually. And there is some things on Warstock, by the way, as well. At least 2 vehicles on Warstock there is on discount. At least 3, I think, actually.
Really? Okay, how about 9 then? Okay, great. See you then.
Alright, so starting off, there's the Buckingham Lacula, which is a little over, which is past the midway point of 2.5. Yeah, it's past the 2. I don't know how to word it, actually. Kind of forgot. But yeah, it's past the $2.5 million point for the Lacula normally, and that's with a trade price. But right now, it's a little under $2 million. And yeah, the Lacula is absolutely amazing, actually. Like, lap time top speed aside, of course, it's very good for generic, like, gameplay, of course. It's a very damn good vehicle when doing business stuff. Especially for air freight cargo, it's a very good air freight cargo vehicle. I've done pretty much just about every single, like, air freight, like, sourcing mission in the game, and the Lacula can pretty much do all of that, and it can pretty much almost entirely stay in stealth mode. Which makes it a very safe business to do in public lobbies, if you do that strategy. And obviously it's very useful for other things like CO cargo for ones that aren't in vehicles, ones that you actually pick up or whatever. So it's good for a ton of sourcing missions for the CO, like finance, felony, warehouse business, as well as the air freight cargo. However, aside for those, I don't really count bunker or the biker businesses, because you might as well, like, buy supplies and make money through other means while you wait for the supplies. It's a very damn good vehicle for those 2 businesses. And honestly, I'm not going to cover, like, lap time top speed, because obviously it's a very good vehicle with having weapons and stuff like that. It's actually beneficial to gameplay aside for racing. But yeah, I think for typical vehicles, I'm going to cover their lap time top speeds now, like their exact numbers, to give more of a reason to watch the stream. Because this is my first time kind of doing it, actually. And then there's the heavy APC next. But yeah, obviously it's no secret that this thing would no doubt not perform very good for lap time or top speed, since it's probably loaded in the military class, and obviously it's an armored personal carrier. But yeah, the APC is amphibious, so it could be good for certain sourcing missions for the CO business, for example, the finance felony warehouse one. That one comes to mind. But yeah, aside for that, I don't feel it would really have much of a purpose, personally. Like, there's definitely much better money makers than the APC. It's nowhere near as good as making money as the Lacula is. And sad thing about APC, unlike in the Baltic Tony, where you were able to control the weapon as a driver, of course, the passenger has to control the turret. So you do have to switch to a passenger seat by holding right on the D-pad, or you do have to have another player with you in that seat, or to really take advantage of the weapon in the first place. And then, yeah, the the shitty machine guns on the back passenger seats. Like if you see here, there's these notches here. Surely those machine guns have very limited ass angles and stuff like that, and I doubt they're very good machine guns either. So yeah, might as well not get this vehicle unless you really like collecting weaponized vehicles like myself. Yeah, the most special thing about it is it's amphibious pretty much. Insurgent pickups are not actually on discount, by the way, it just got up at the moment. On discount as well, though, is the Ruiner 2000, which right now, if you have a trade price, is a little over $3 million. And sadly, this vehicle, I would say, is mostly not worth it. Like, it can be alright in certain circumstances, but yeah, there's so much better out there. But yeah, Ruiner 2000 has no explosive resistance, whereas obviously the APC has quite the explosive resistance. And the Akula even has some damn good explosive resistance for a helicopter. But yeah, unlike those two vehicles, Ruiner 2000, it's blown up in one missile. Unless you're using a fully loaded Ruiner 2000, which has like tons of explosive resistance, even more so than those two vehicles. But that's only during a certain VIP work, obviously, so you're barely going to benefit from that. And then for missiles, it has 8 of the most best tracking missiles in the game. It was the first vehicle ever to have like the best homing missiles in the game. So because it was the first one, they probably balanced it by only giving it 8. But yeah, now that like vehicles have those same like good homing missiles, but they can have like 30 of them, it's pretty outclassed and obsolete because the fact that it has 22 less than a lot of different vehicles like the Vigilante, for example, that I was driving around on stream. And also something like the Deluxo even also has like 30 of the best tracking homing missiles. So yeah, they're very nice, obviously, but it's not the most useful vehicle of those missiles. And obviously it has machine guns, but surely they're not very good machine guns, I would imagine. And you might as well just purely stick to the missiles. And why would you use a non-fully loaded Ruiner in the first place? Is my question. The one unique thing it has, which is probably one of the biggest reasons to get it, is the parachute mechanic. But yeah, you can use the jump boost on the vehicle, and then it has a parachute, which can be very nice for gliding and going around the map, but obviously there's a lot better point A to point B options, such as the Vigilante and then the Oppressors. Even something like the Velatus, as I mentioned before. But yeah. With this vehicle, you can also like reverse with the vehicle, and then you can do the parachute for increased height, by the way, as well. That's not something I've actually mentioned yet. And the main reason for getting this vehicle, honestly, is for the VIP work. While the VIP work doesn't pay very well, it can be very nice for getting out of tough situations by doing the VIP work. Of course, if someone's being really annoying and griefing you the hell of shit or whatever, you can launch the VIP work and get a very damn overpowered version of the Ruiner 2000. So it can be good for anti-griefing, but also, sadly, as well, good for regular griefing as well. That's really the only main reason to get the vehicle is the VIP work. Because it can be very fun to mess around with, and it's also very good for going against a griefer. And yeah, the Buzzer Attack Chopper, for me, it's free, but I've owned a Buzzer Attack Chopper before it became free, I believe. So for me, it shows up like it is free, but it's not. But yeah, it's 30% off for the Buzzer Attack Chopper. And Buzzer Attack Chopper, as for Buzzer Attack Chopper, I have a whole entire vehicle review and guide. Let me actually get to it right now. I actually have a whole entire vehicle reviewing guide on the Blizzard Attack Chopper, so you might as well go watch my vehicle review guide, or even someone else's vehicle reviewing guide as well, on the Blizzard Attack Chopper. But main thing to know about Blizzard Attack Chopper is it can be spawned through the CEO menu, which is pretty much the only attack helicopter that can do that. You can spawn the Havoc, but it does not have the machine gun for the Havoc. And yeah, since this one actually has missiles, unlike the Havoc, it's a very damn good CO vehicle. So just the fact that you can spawn it on the CO like menu, you might as well get it for sure. Since it can be very damn helpful for general gameplay, like doing businesses and stuff like that, for sure. Okay, on to dock tees. Basically, every single thing on dock tees is on discount for right now. But yeah, all boats are on discount. But yeah, since there's so many boats, I might just say their lap times and top speeds. I probably won't really go in much details with them. I don't think there's really going to be much very interesting things with them. A lot of them are probably just boring vehicles that are very clearly not worth it. Boats are probably like the most useless vehicles in the game, besides for like bicycles. Or cycles, as they're called in this game. So I'll go in order from like lowest lap time to highest lap time, I guess. So the Tug has the very lowest lap time of all the boats class. There's no submersible on here as a purchasable option. Right underneath that for the vehicles on this website would be the Kraken. That's 11th place in lap time, whereas Tug was 13th in lap time. Marquis is 10th place in lap time. Suntrap is 9th place in lap time. Police Predator is not on here, obviously. Toro would be next lowest in, like, lap time, being 7th place. Or next highest, I mean. 6th place for lap time is the Sea Shark. 5th place for lap time is the Tropic. 4th place for lap time is the Squallow. 3rd place for lap time is the Dinghy. 2nd place for lap time is the Jetmax. And number 1 for lap time on this list is obviously the Speeder from the Beach Bum update, the first DLC boat in the game. Not that it'll probably really matter as much for a boat, but for those who are curious, I might as well say. Again, at least for top speed would be the Tug. And yeah, no submersible, so the next highest for top speed in 11th place again would be the Kraken. Again for 10th place, the Marquis for top speed. There's no Police Predator as a like purchasable vehicle here. Obviously, 8th place for top speed is a Toro. Then Suntrap for 7th. Tropic for 6th for top speed. Squallow is 5th for top speed. Sea Shark is 4th in top speed. Speeder is actually 3rd place for top speed. Jetmax would be 2nd for top speed. And then the Dinghy's number 1 for top speed for the boats class. So yeah, that's the lap time and top speeds for those boats. I'll try to think of anything interesting for the boats. Honestly, I can't really think of anything interesting for the Tug or the Kraken, I think. So yeah. I literally just want to mention their lap times, top speeds, and obviously none of them have customizations, since there's no customizable boats in the game still. Even though this would have been the perfect DLC to have that, even. By the way, Kraken's not free, it's just a returning player thing. If you're a returning player from the last generation, it is free, I believe. And it always is free. But if you're not a returning player, it's not free. I just say that because it's glitched up at the moment for the discount. And I'll make sure there's nothing on here. Though because there's a lot of discounts not even on the newswire for whatever weird reason when they don't usually do that, I kind of have to make sure. And because I'm starting to include every single lap time and top speed, at least for like generic civilian vehicles in the game, I might as well go over it for this vehicle because I've never done that, like specifically. I just kind of generalized where it probably was. Yeah, Gauntlet Hellfire is probably in the muscle class. Alright, for lap time for Gauntlet Hellfire, it's 14th place, so you're not really going to get anywhere for lap time. However, for top speed for the muscle class, Gauntlet Hellfire is actually 2nd place for top speed. For those who are curious what first place is, it's the Pisswasser Dominator, and that's not including any non-raceable options. I'm going to purely talk about raceable options. So Gauntlet Hellfire is a pretty damn decent option for top speed for muscle car races, for anyone who may do those quite often. However, Pisswasser Dominator, I believe, is another free vehicle for returning players like myself, of course, from the last generation to the current generation. So if you have the Pisswasser Dominator for free, you might as well just go with that, honestly. So because of that, it's kind of not worth it, but still, it's pretty damn good for top speed regardless. And actually, before I go, like, end the stream, I want to make sure there's no more discounts, because, yeah, there's a lot of discounts for some reason not on the Rockstar Newswire, which is, like, something they never do. And I don't understand why, like, they couldn't fit all of them on the Rockstar Newswire. They've done it, like, pretty much every other time. And they don't really do target sales or anything either, so aside from Prime Gaming, they don't really do the regular target sales anymore, so yeah, that was the last discount to talk about, which was a Prime Gaming one I covered before, and which has been there for the last couple weeks, but I've never specifically mentioned the specific lap time and top speed. So yeah, that's probably going to be it for stream. Next stream is either going to be the Red Dead Online event week stream, or who knows. I might decide to do the Superyacht life missions or something like that. I might end up doing that, not entirely sure though. But anyways, that's finally going to be it for this stream. Hope you enjoyed. And hopefully my extra details on civilian vehicles were appreciated, and maybe I'll do that